One visual thing that you see here is that the person that's talking is attached to the dialog box with a certain expression, and that helps you to know the tone of what's going on, which is nice. It's a nice extra level of detail that helps you understand the gravity or the emotion of the situation. The NPC character designs next to dialogue help convey tone and mood, as does the music and the lighting. The music has changed to something more foreboding, and the lighting is more foreboding. Because again, not everyone will be able to hear what's going on. So what are some other things that we can do visually or so forth that can help them understand the tone and the mood? I talk about this in one of my videos. I can't remember which one, but there are many reasons that someone may not be able to hear. So you want to accompany things with visual and haptic and environmental cues, because the NPC behavior, the character design, when it's next to the dialogue box, is helping convey the mood and the tone, and the lighting helps convey the mood and the tone in case you can't hear, because there's many reasons you couldn't hear. For example, right now, my head is hurting because the headphones are digging into my glasses, which are then digging into my head and making my head hurt. So when I'm not streaming, I'm taking the headset off, and then I can't hear the game unless I turn on my speakers, which I don't like doing because I'm not the only one here and I don't want to bother everyone else. So there are many reasons that people are not going to have sound, not just accessibility reasons. But if you make a game designed for accessibility, then it's going to help a lot more people than just those with accessibility issues. And you can learn more on my YouTube channel. I have a link to the channel called Ally VR, which talks about accessibility, especially specifically for VR. NPC behaviors, much more perceptible in mixed reality and in VR in particular than it is in a 2D game. Weird NPC behaviors in a 2D game is a lot more forgivable, because you're getting into that when you're in a VR experience, you're immersed in it, and the NPCs are the same size as you for the most part. Most of the time, they're the same size as you. So their behaviors matter a lot more because we have certain expectations for the NPCs to behave like they would behave in real life. So you want to remember that and keep that in mind, because we are immersed. And for example, there was a experience that I was working on, and it was when we were still new to it, new to dealing with the NPCs in games, in VR. And you don't think about it as much because if you're coming from a 2D background, and again, it's not as big of a deal in 2D games as it is. But I went in to test the build, and I can't talk in detail about it because of NDAs, but I went in to test the build, and the NPCs were talking to each other, but they were expecting a response from me, but they wouldn't look at me. And yeah, it's a NPC, so what does it matter? But actually, when you're in there and you're experiencing it in real life, and big as life, and there are people talking to each other, and they're talking to you, but they won't look at you, that gives you a certain psychological and emotional feeling. And that told me I'm being ignored, I'm being disregarded. And so you really want to pay attention to the behaviors of your NPCs in your games, to act and behave like they would in real life. And so if that was what you were going for, to make the person feel ignored, because maybe you're doing an empathy video for something, and there are empathy experiences out there where you can put yourself in someone else's shoes and experience life the way that they do. And so in that case, then yeah, you would want them to ignore you because that's what's happening in real life. But if that's not what is supposed to be happening, you want to make sure that your NPCs are behaving properly the way they would in real life. So it's very important, and you have to code that back in. It's not something that just comes out of the box. You have to pay attention to it and code it in, which doesn't happen as much in 2D games, but it's vital in immersive experiences.